We'll take some more questions from our viewers with you now. From New Delhi, Preetham wants to know from you, sir, that which are the sectors that you believe are poised to move up post the elections, and are there any sectors that you would advise investors to start building positions even before the elections?
Yeah, so I think clearly, I think the sector where we are seeing good traction, or at least the outlook there to be better over the coming years. One is, and the broad theme, two or three themes, three four themes which we like. One is the investment theme. Clearly, the whole manufacturing, the focus on domestic manufacturing, and the pickup in the investment cycle. We think that's likely to continue. Private sector capex also, we think post elections that can gain some traction because the ingredients are in place, right? In terms of strong balance sheets of the banks to able to lend. Corporates have delevered significantly in the last 3 4 years, especially post COVID. So they are in a position to now reinvest. The capacity utilization levels are now hitting for the country as a whole around 76 77%. So we think that is a space, okay, which will do well. So that includes industrials, power sector, right, and the infrastructure space, and that's a sector which looks promising. We are still not, when stocks have run up quite a few in this space, but outlook-wise, we think we are still at the early stages of the recovery in that space. Another sector which we like is consumer discretionary consumer, because I think India is at a point where uh, discretionary consumption is going to go at a much faster pace, and it has been doing so because
Which consumption?
as your per capita income goes up, especially about say $3,000, we see spends on items besides your day-to-day items like okay, food, clothing, anything. You start spending on discretionary items, whether it's in the consumer durable space, retail, spending, eating outside, travel, tourism. So all that space is likely to see a long-term secular growth in India, and that's a sector which one can build a good position from a longer term perspective. Let me caution you that currently this sector is going through some amount of a slowdown and pain. We haven't seen uh, some of these companies in that sector haven't done as well. But we think it's a temporary phase. I think we've seen the slowdown. As I said, the post-COVID recovery hasn't been as strong, but long-term structurally, there's a good theme we think uh, will give good dividends, okay, for patient investors over there. Auto is another sector which we have been overweight, and we had launched our auto fund, transportation and logistics funds around 4 months back, done fairly well, and within that auto sector, we think uh, the four wheeler and two wheeler sector will do relatively better.
Okay.
And yeah, so these are the some of these sectors. Besides that, I think pharma and healthcare also seems to be a good defensive, okay, to look at. Uh, and, uh, and apart from that, I mean, if you look at our portfolios, we are overweight, say, telecom, where again we're not at this point in time. We're looking at sectors where there's a reasonable, decent visibility of earnings growth, and less chances of any kind of negative surprises. So telecom is another sector, okay, where we are overweight.